Speaking of which, in 2002, a terrorist attack had shaken the world. It was a bombing in Bali that had killed more than 200 people. Many of them were foreign tourists. Today, its mastermind has been released. Bakar Bashir, the radical cleric who led a local Al-Qaeda affiliate, is now a free man. Many fear his release could make matters worse. Here's a report.
For those who were in Bali on that night 19 years ago, Bakar Bashir is a promoter of terrorism. The man behind the Bali Bombings, Indonesia's deadliest terror attack that killed 202 people. But for the government of Indonesia, Bakar Bashir is a man who has suffered enough, which is why he has now been released. Soon after he uttered those words, Bashir was escorted away by an elite anti-terrorism squad. Local officials say special measures were necessary due to Bashir's frail health and the pandemic. An explanation that's bound to anger the families of the victims of the bombing. Bakar Bashir is the former head of Jemaah Islamiyah, a group linked to the Al-Qaeda, accused of carrying out the Bali bombings in 2002. An attack that had killed 22 British and 88 Australian citizens. Bashir has denied all links to the incident, while Indonesia struggled to prove his involvement. He was imprisoned in 2011 on completely different charges. A 15-year jail sentence for funding a training camp for terrorists. Indonesia's President Joko Widodo wanted to release Bashir 2 years ago, just before the 2019 election, in a move that many saw as an attempt to appease the ultra-conservatives. But the decision was reversed after a pushback from the Australian government. Now Australia says Bashir's release was consistent with Indonesia's justice system.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's hard and it's gut-wrenching, having spent time with the families of those victims of that terrible bombing. They have been released consistent with the Indonesian justice system. That doesn't make it any easier for any Australian to accept that, ultimately, that those who are responsible for the murder of Australians would now be free. It's sometimes not a fair world, and that's one of the hardest things to deal with.
Bashir has been released into the care of his family in central Java. Authorities say he will now enter a de-radicalization program. While Bashir doesn't exercise the same kind of influence over Jemaah Islamiyah as he used to, the victims are concerned about his ability to radicalize more people as an ideologue. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.